Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your 2024 NFL playoff standing predictions and Super Bowl predictions. Now, if I had it my way, I'd predict the record for every team, but to find the good playoff predictor or NFL standings prediction, it's a pain in the ass. I couldn't find it. This is the best I could fucking do. Yeah, it's a piece of shit, but it is what it is. Um, so for you casuals out there, so I'm just gonna go through the playoff teams and the Super Bowl prediction. I'm not even gonna the bum teams. I'm not even gonna bother because I just couldn't find a good playoff predictor. So for you casuals out there, obviously we have two conferences in the NFL. We have the AFC and we have the NFC, right? Um, the Each conference gets seven playoff teams, right? So these are the seven playoff teams in the AFC. These are the seven playoff teams in the NFC. Simple, quick, and easy, right? So let's start off with the AFC. Okay. So my three wild card teams in the AFC playoffs, I have the Buffalo Bills, right, at 9-8. Gotta be honest, the bottom half of the AFC in terms of the playoffs and like the wild card teams, not very strong in my opinion. The Bills 9-8. I gotta be honest, I don't like the Bills at all this season. I just don't. I don't like the Buffalo Bills. Obviously they lost Stephon Diggs. So now who's their best receiver now? What is it? Gabe Davis. Is Gabe Davis? No, Gabe Davis. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. I don't even know who. I don't even know who the fuck they're starting at receiver. Um, they've always had offensive line issues. I'm not the biggest Sean McDermott guy, and yeah, I think the Bills are going to struggle this season. But lucky for you, Bills fans, you guys still sneak into the playoffs. Sixth seed. We have the LA Chargers. Obviously, Justin Herbert dealing with a foot injury already. Not the best, but uh, yeah, I think I like Jim Harbaugh. I like Herbert. They obviously it's a work in progress. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be within a snap of a finger. Uh, I think they'll be a playoff team, bare minimum. The five seed, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, I have the Baltimore Ravens regressing from last season. I personally think the Ravens Super Bowl window. Excuse me. I personally think the Ravens Super Bowl window was last season. I really do. I don't. As much as I like Lamar Jackson, um, I don't think he's that type of player that year in and year out can consistently take you to the top. So, but you're still a playoff team, 10-7. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals winning the AFC North um, at 11-6. Uh, Hopefully, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, you still got those receivers. Hopefully, the defense gets a little better. Look, man, Joe Burrow when he's healthy is a top three quarterback in the league, right? He's argued like he's right there. So you should win a lot of games, right? You should be fine. And I think you're the best team in that division. The third seed, we have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West. No, I don't think the Chiefs are gonna uh, come out this season, on fire or anything like that. It's, I know a lot of people think, oh, the Chiefs are gonna three-peat this or that. Um, I personally think it's impossible to three-peat in the NFL, and when you've won back-to-back Super Bowls, it's really hard to. I just don't. I mean, they're still going to win games, right? They're still the best team in that division, but I see a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. It must be nice, though, to have a Super Bowl hangover with at 11 wins. Next up, yep, I'm buying in the New York Jets. I have the Jets winning the AFC East in 12-5. I know a lot of people want to push back on the Jets, and I get it, but they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. And me personally, the question with the Jets is, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers? Um, I'm not gonna doubt. I'm not gonna sit here and doubt Aaron Rodgers. I understand he's 40. I understand he's coming off the injury, but it's still fucking Aaron Rodgers, dude. Like it's still he's still one of the best quarterbacks of all time. They got him more weapons, right? Mike Williams. They've upgraded the offensive line through the draft and free agency. You're still going to have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think the Jets are going to win. I think the Jets are going to have a successful regular season. And then yes, I'm buying into the Houston Texans as you know as far as the regular season goes. Um, not my. Do I love this pick? Probably not, but uh, I love what I saw from Stroud last season. I like the coach. They're obviously building a culture there in Houston. I'm assuming the defense is going to get a little better, right? You assume that because the coach is a defensive minded head coach. The offense, I like the additions, right? Stephon Diggs. They got some young receivers developing. I'm going to buy into the Texans, man. I think they're going to be the 1 seed. Will they make the Super Bowl? We'll see. But I think they're gonna have a really successful regular season and be the 1 seed in the AFC. So now we're gonna move on to the NFC. These are your three wild card teams for the NFC. First, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, yeah, the Eagles. I don't know, dude. Uh, I'm not that high on Jalen Hurts. Um, I think there's question marks on their defense, at least in their secondary. They lost Hassan Reddick. Uh, But you still have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. You still have a really good offense. You should win some games. Do I think the Eagles are a contender? Me personally, no. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers at 10-7. Yes, I have the San Francisco 49ers as a wild card team. I know a lot of people would probably disagree with that. It's the classic Super Bowl hangover. Teams that lose in the Super Bowl generally don't ever do well, right? So, uh, I think just based strictly off like talent or whatever, they should still be a playoff team. But do I think they're going to be a contender? Nah. The last wild card team I have, and yes, this is a surprise. I have the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, and I know a lot of people are probably like, "What? The Arizona Cardinals, dude?" Every year we get a shit ton of new playoff teams. That's how the fucking NFL works. I hate when people are like, "What? Why is this team in the playoff?" Dude, that's how the NFL works. The Arizona Cardinals, I think they're finally on the right track, right? I like what they've done in the draft the last few years. I like the moves that they've made. Um, and I think Kyler Murray, do I love Kyler Murray? Pause, no. But I think I the guy's too talented of a player to just flop. You know what I mean? Like I just think he's too talented of a player. And now I like they added Marvin. They added a stud, right? A guy in Marvin Harrison Jr. would probably be in most drafts he'd probably be a top 2, 3 pick. You got him at 4, so you're gonna add him to that offense with Trey McBride. Um, they got some other young receivers there. They're slowly building the offensive line, and you assume. I think the Cardinals are going to be a decent team this year, man. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be a nice surprise in the NFC. So now we go to the division winners. We have the Atlanta Falcons winning the NFC South, right? Is that how that works? I don't know. Uh, I basically had the Falcons. No, yeah, and it's whatever. I basically had the Falcons winning their division by default. Um, and it's typical Falcons. I mean, there's really not much to say. Kirk Cousins, Atlanta sports, average. I mean, there's really not much. They win their division by default. Who gives a fuck? Next up, yes, I have the New York Football Giants, my favorite team, winning the NFC East. And I know a lot of people are going to push back on that. And, I'm assuming like people are actually going to fucking watch this video. It's probably going to have like 10 views, but um, yes, I have the New York Football Giants winning the NFC East. Okay, yes, that's my big surprise. That's another big surprise. I don't. I think the Commanders are dog shit. I think the Cowboys are dog shit. I don't think the Cowboys. I hate. the Cowboys going into the season. And I know everyone loves to shit on the Giants. Let's not forget, this is a team that won a playoff game 2 years ago, right? Like, let's not act like this is a team that under Brian Daboll and Joe Shane that like fell off the face. I know they had a bad season. Okay, it happens. They did win a playoff game 2 years ago, and they added some big pieces, right? Like Malik Neighbors, who I think is going to be a fucking monster. Brian Burns, I think that they potentially could have one of the best defensive lines in the league. Sue me. I think the Giants are going to be a surprise this season. Everyone's shitting on them. Daniel Jones, I think, will bounce back. I'm not saying they're going to be great. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they'll. I think they'll win 10 games. 10 games. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers. And this is a weird one for me. I have the Packers winning the NFC North. This is a weird one for me because I don't love the coach. I don't even really love the quarterback. But I can't deny the strong way the Packers ended the regular season last season and in the playoffs. And I can't deny how good Jordan Love looked. And they do have a lot of talent on that team. Like that offense. I mean, Matt Eberflus at this point has proven he's a good offensive coach. And I can't deny they probably have one of the most young, talented offenses in the NFL. And offense wins in the NFL. It does. When you have a good quarterback and a good offense, you're going to win games. And they still have pretty good pieces on defense. I think the Packers are going to be really good. And then for my top seed, as far as the NFC West goes, I have the LA Rams at 12-5, winning the NFC West and being the top seed in the regular season for the NFC. Sean McVay, Super Bowl winning head coach. Matthew Stafford, probably the most underrated offense in the NFL. I mean, they got weapons all over the place, right? Aaron Donald retiring, to be honest with you, and this is probably disrespectful, but I don't really care. I mean, they're gonna be good, man. They're gonna be good. Like, they probably should have been better than they were last season. They won 9 games, and they probably should have beat Detroit in that playoff game. I think they're gonna be really good. So now we move on to the playoffs. Hopefully, I know how this shit works. So we have the wild card round, right? So let's start off with the AFC. So we're gonna have the Bills at the Jets. I think the Jets are flat out the better team. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Jets. We have the Chargers and the Chiefs. I guess I'll take the Chiefs. We have the Ravens and the Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals. Lamar Jackson, as much as I like him, he's not a playoff quarterback. We move on to the NFC. Eagles at the Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers. What's his name? That clown coach. Pack your bags. You're done, buddy. Next up, the Giants and the 49ers. No, I'm not a brain-dead, delusional Giants fan. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Like I said, I think the Giants are going to have a good regular season. Sue me. But I'm going to go with the 49ers, okay? Cardinals at the Falcons. You know how Kirk Cousins performs in the playoffs. And yes, I have the Arizona Cardinals winning a playoff game. Didn't expect that. So now we're going to move on to the divisional round of the playoffs. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Whoa, what the fuck just happened? All right, whatever. Let's start off with the NFC. I'm going to go with the Rams over the 49ers. Again, the 49ers, it's just, when you lose in the Super Bowl, especially in heartbreaking fashion the way they did, it's really hard to bounce back in the NFL. Unless you have like an all-time quarterback. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams making it to the NFC Championship game. Cardinals at the Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers. Great season by the Cardinals. If this happens, this is a great bounce back season for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So now we're going to move on to the AFC. Bengals at the Texans. That's a good matchup, man. Uh, I gotta go with Joe Burrow, man. I gotta go with Joe Burrow. And yes, the Texans, unfortunately, yeah, I gotta go with Joe Burrow, dude. And yeah, the Texans. Again, I don't think they're quite there just yet. I don't think they're on their way. I don't think they're quite there just yet. And then we're gonna go with the Chiefs and the Jets. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I'm buying into the Jets this season. I am. I'm buying into the hype. I know, people are 50-50 with that. I think this is their year. Okay. So now we're gonna move on. Let's see. Let's move on to the AFC. Let's move on to the conference championships. Let's start off with the AFC. We have Joe Burrow and the Bengals walking into MetLife Stadium to play Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Kind of crazy, but yeah. I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets. Okay. Yes, I am picking the New York Jets to win the AFC. Okay. I think they have a great roster. I'm not going to sit here and doubt Aaron Rodgers. And when I look at the AFC, I don't think the Chiefs are going to three-peat. I don't think the Ravens. I don't trust the Ravens in the playoffs. Who is there really to pick? The Texans, I think, will have a good season. I don't think they're quite there yet in the playoffs. I think this is the Jets' year. I don't know. It's just weird. Do I love it as a Giants fan? No. But it's just a gut feeling I have. So now we're going to move on to the NFC Championship game. Going to go with the Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers. Very weird season. I really don't love any team this season, to be honest with you. I know some people might say, well, why not just pick the Chiefs? Again, I think it's impossible to three-peat. So, yeah, that's going to be my Super Bowl matchup. And, yep, elephant in the room, Aaron Rodgers versus his former team in this fucking Super Bowl. Yeah. That's just how I see it playing out. And I have the New York Jets. Finally, for the first time since fucking, 1969. And as a Giants fan, I wouldn't even be mad, to be honest with you. And I like to beat up on the Jets every now and then, but they're overdue. I feel like they're overdue. It wasn't. What does the Jets winning another Super Bowl accomplish? What does that accomplish? Like, okay, yeah, they win their second Super Bowl in like 100 years. Who gives a shit? But it'd be great for Aaron Rodgers' legacy. I'll tell you that. He instantly becomes probably arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. And by the way, this would be an insane matchup. I think it's realistic. I personally think it's realistic. But yeah, I have the New York Jets winning the Super Bowl. Yes, I said that. Crazy, but it's what I think is going to happen. So there you go. That's your video. Probably not the best video, but I don't give a fuck. I'm a huge NFL fan. I basically just tried to figure out any way I can make this fucking video. So there you go, man. There you go, Jets fans. You finally win a fake Super Bowl. It's not real yet. We'll see if my prediction comes true, but hopefully it doesn't. I don't, I wouldn't mind the Jets making the Super Bowl, but the Jets winning the Super Bowl, I'm not going to lie, I'd be kind of pissed. But those are my predictions. Fuck it.